That says J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks 2022 NFL Week 11. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay. All right, we're here, and it is 2022 NFL Week 11 Picks, Fearless Football Picks for yours truly, J-Dawg. I am J-Dawg. Hope you're enjoying this Thursday. And last week went 7-7 with an 84-63 record overall, and Thursday Night Football didn't look too intriguing a few weeks ago because the Green Bay Packers were slumping mightily. That's not the case now. That big overtime thrilling win over the Dallas Cowboys, in effect, has put Green Bay back in the playoff picture, despite being 4-6. Tonight, Lambeau Field, it will be frozen tundra indeed, and the Packers are going to be wearing white at home, which I'm not a fan of, by the way, hosting the Tennessee Titans, who are 6-3 and got a big win over the Denver Broncos in Nashville last weekend. Packers beating the Cowboys in thrilling fashion in overtime on Sunday. 8:15 tonight to kick off week number 11 of the 2022 NFL season, and it's on Prime Video. Right now, the Packers are 3.5-point favorites. I will take the points. I think the Packers are back. I think they needed to wake up. Christian Watson looks like he's actually going to be a complimentary great wideout in this league after looking lost. I mean, he is a rookie after all. That backflip he did was so iconic. And I tell you, the Pack, I think they're back. I'll take them to defeat Tennessee by a field goal in this one. The 3.5 points, take it. Okay, now we move on to Sunday. The Chicago Bears, who had the victory until they didn't against the Detroit Lions. They're the same old Chicago Bears. I told you. Are at the 4-6 Atlanta Falcons. The Bears are 3-7. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. And right now, Atlanta's a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to take them to win this by a touchdown. I think the Chicago Bears got shell-shocked at home against the Lions, and the free fall begins. Not to say that Chicago was going to be on top of the NFC North division anytime soon. I mean, look at the Vikings. They're 8-1 for crying out loud. Next, we have a game that could be moved to Detroit because the Detroit Lions are at the New York Football Giants. It's supposed to be ridiculously cold and snowy in Buffalo to the point where there's just so many feet of snow that might not be suitable for playing in Orchard Park, New York. The 6-3 Buffalo Bills, I hate to say they're slumping, I guess they are. They were the number 1 seed not all that long ago, 2 weeks. Are at 6-3. They host the 3-6 Cleveland Browns. It's an 8.5-point favorite for the Buffalo Bills. And here's my stone cold lead pipe lock of the week. The Buffalo Bills will win this game by 2 touchdowns. It doesn't matter if it's in Orchard Park, New York, or Detroit, Michigan. I've got the Bills winning by 2 touchdowns in this game by at least 14 points. Could be more, could be 17 points. I've got them winning by 14, though. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS. Next, we have now the defeated Philadelphia Eagles at 8-1, who lost a stinker to the Washington Commanders in Philly on Monday Night Football. Man, the Boo Birds were out there, weren't they? Are at the now 1-0 Indianapolis, well, I shouldn't say 1-0. Jeff Saturday took over as the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, who are 4-5-1, and that's at Indy. That's this Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS, and at the moment, the Eagles are 6.5-point favorites, and I think they're going to win this game by 3. I think they're going to escape with a field goal. Nick Sirianni, well, one time was a coach for the Indianapolis Colts, not a head coach. I believe he was an offensive coordinator, if not quarterbacks coach. Part of Frank Reich's system, now defunct system since Frank Reich got the boot, and now Jeff Saturday is the head coach. I think he knows a little bit about these Colts, and I think because of that, they'll just barely, narrowly escape. I think the Colts will make it competitive because it looks like they're playing for a guy like Jeff Saturday. I think they tuned Frank Reich out, and that happens with head coaches. It's a tough job. If you get tuned out, you're done. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You're done. If you get tuned out by a player and they just don't buy into your system anymore, you're not going to be able to win it. Look at the Boston Bruins in the NHL. Bruce Cassidy had gotten them to places they hadn't gone in a long time, since the 70s, at least, to a Stanley Cup final in 2019, competitive. And then after a while, the message just, they didn't want to respond to it anymore. And that's why Armstrong, the new head, not the Armstrong, forgot his name. Montgomery. Jim Montgomery, Armstrong, St. Louis. Jim Montgomery, the new coach of the Boston Bruins. They're the best. They have the best record in the NHL. So they are responding to they're picking up what he's putting down. So that's what the problem with Frank Reich. Plus, they couldn't find a quarterback. They still don't have a quarterback as far as I'm concerned. Again, it'll be close. I will take Philly, though, in a squeaker. Next, this should be a good one. 1 p.m. on CBS. It is the New England Patriots at 5-4, hosting a rival in the 6-3 New York Football Jets. Right now, the Pats are 3.5-point favorites. The Jets can't figure the Patriots out for some reason. It doesn't matter if it's in the Meadowlands or it's in Foxborough. This is where it will be this Sunday at Gillette Stadium. And I'm going to take the Patriots I'll take them by a touchdown. I think the Jets will come close, but ultimately, I think the Pats will come out on top on this one. Next, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams at 3-6. They're not going to be undisputed for much longer. At the 3-7 New Orleans Saints, 1 p.m. is the kickoff on Fox, and it'll be New Orleans is a 4.5-point favorite. I'm going to take them by 10. Cooper Kupp is out indefinitely. It looks like it could be 4 to 8 weeks. If I'm the Rams, I don't rush this. The Rams are lost right now. I have not seen a Sean McVay team like this. Not just the Super Bowl hangover is real, and it is not spectacular for LA. The concussion protocol for Matt Stafford. The running game is still not all that there. They allow big plays on defense. I'm disappointed in Jalen Ramsey this year as a cornerback. He has allowed a lot of big plays. If you saw that game in Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago, there were 2 to 3 big plays that he last year would have absolutely either picked somebody off or at least created confusion to not throw that far down the field. And it's in New Orleans, and I think the Rams are in a free fall right now. So I'm going to take the Saints by a touchdown in this one. Next, we have those all of a sudden hot Detroit Lions, who are at 3-6-1. They've won 2 in a row. At the 7-2 New York Football Giants. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. And right now, the G-men are favored by 3.5 points. I'm taking the Lions, but I don't know. This is a trap game as far as I'm concerned. This one concerns me right here because I think the Giants are for real, but they may be looking towards next week or the week after. They might not be looking at the Detroit Lions. The Lions have won 2 in a row, trying to make it 3 in a row. They're playing hard. And I'm going to take this one. I think I'm going to take this one by a field goal. I think the Giants are going to just barely eke this one out in the Meadowlands by a field goal. That's just how I feel. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers, who are at 3-7, at the Baltimore Ravens, who are at 6-3. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox, and currently it's a 12.5-point favorite right now for the Ravens. They're a 12.5-point favorite, and Baker Mayfield will start for the Panthers. P.J. Walker is injured. Sam Darnold looks like he's going to be the backup here in this game. Should anything happen, like Baker Mayfield not getting it done, he knows the Baltimore Ravens because he played for the Cleveland Browns for several years. That being said, and he's actually done, I shouldn't say done all right against the Ravens. He's done serviceable. This is the Panthers. I don't think they're going to win this game. It's in Baltimore. Baltimore does have issues closing out teams, but I don't think the Panthers will be one of them. Take the 12.5. I think they're going to win by at least 2 touchdowns, at least 14 points. Could be 12.5, could be 13 points. Next, we have the Washington Commanders, who are back in it at 5-5, 5-5, at the 1-7-1 Houston Texans. That is a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. And right now, Washington is a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to take them by 10 points here. There's a little bit of a quarterback controversy going on between Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz. Do they want Wentz to come back? He's had that finger injury, and he hasn't been all that good. They seem to respond better to Taylor Heineke, who got them essentially to the playoffs in 2020 when they were a Washington football team. This is the first year as the Commandos. I think they're going to stick with the hot hand. Keep the hot hand, and you never know what could happen. They could upset the Cowboys. Who knows? But down the line. I'm not saying the Cowboys are world beaters. I think they're overrated. I know their record says otherwise, but because they're 6-3. But more on the Cowboys later. Anyway, that's as I said, 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox, and I will take the Commanders by a touchdown to win in Houston. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at 2-7 at the 3-6 Denver Broncos, a 4:05 kickoff on Fox. Currently, it's a 2.5-point favorite listed for Denver, and I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. It looks like they're finally figuring things out. It looks like they're finally able to get some semblance of offense. Now, they lost to the Tennessee Titans in Nashville, I know, but they almost got in there and went in there and beat the Titans. It's at home, and for some reason, the Las Vegas Raiders, with Josh McDaniels as the head coach, he was the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and he had a hot start when he started, if you remember back in the day when he was the head coach of Denver. And then the bottom dropped out, and he was out of the job as a head coach. The Raiders have promised that he's going to come back for 2023. I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to take the Broncos by a touchdown here. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys, who are at 6-3 at the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings showed me and the world something when they got that big win at Buffalo for the first time since 1997, opening day in the NFL. That's how long it was the last time the Minnesota Vikings went into Orchard Park, New York to beat the Buffalo Bills. Okay? It was that long ago, 25 years ago. They don't meet every year, I understand that. It still happened in 1997. I don't see it being contested, right? I don't see the Buffalo Bills or the Minnesota Vikings contesting that, right? All right. I guess you can contest elections, but not games or the lottery. Whatever. Right now, it's a 4:25 kickoff on CBS. 1.5-point favorite are the Vikings. I think this is going to be a knockdown drag-out, and I think the Vikings are going to come out on top by at least 10 points here. And it's in Minnesota. That place is going to be loud. Crowd is proud. They are just Skull Vikings. They are just going to be too much, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys. And I've got Minnesota by at least 10 points here in this one. Next, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed AFC champions Cincinnati Bengals, who are at 5-4, at the 3-6 Pittsburgh Steelers, who are it's a 4:25 kickoff on CBS. They got the win last week. They're right now Cincinnati is a 5.5-point favorite. You don't think they want revenge for opening day in Cincinnati against Pittsburgh? You don't think they want that? I think they do want that, and I think they're going to get it. 5.5-point favorites listed for Cincinnati. I think take them by a touchdown. Although it's in Pittsburgh, and it's probably going to be cold weather. Not to say that Cincinnati doesn't have cold weather either. It's an arrival, and that's just the way it is. Next, Sunday Night Football. 2 weeks in a row of Los Angeles Chargers in prime time on NBC. So does that mean NBC means nothing but Chargers now? The Bolts took it on the chin at the San Francisco 49ers last Sunday night. Do they do it again against Kansas City? Right now, LA is 5-4. KC is 7-2. It's a 7.5-point favorite listed for KC. And remember, they played on Thursday Night Football, these two teams against each other, and a thrilling victory by Kansas City. I'm going to take Kansas City here by 7 points, by a touchdown, because LA is a snake-bitten franchise. It's an 8:20 kickoff on NBC, by the way. And I just don't know. They're one of those teams that just won't get over the hump. Now, they could against Kansas City, because KC in fact, the Chiefs may just be looking this one over, although it's a divisional rival. There's no way they're not looking this at, right? They're looking their chops on this. Pat Mahomes, it's primetime Pat again. Justin Herbert, I think we'll have a good game, but it's against primetime Pat. And Pat Mahomes right now, one of the league's best in the business. Don't be surprised if he wins MVP again. He's just putting up terrific numbers, leading passer in the NFL right now in terms of yardage. He's going to get the touchdowns. It's Pat Mahomes, man. Primetime Pat. I'm not betting against him. I'm taking KC. And Monday Night Football in Mexico. The first time the NFL was in Mexico in the regular season, these two teams hooked up, the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's the host team, and it was a Sunday night on ESPN, back when Sunday Night Football was on ESPN. Back in the day, in 2005, I actually remember that game, watching it with my dad. I think Tim Rattay was the quarterback for the 49ers because Alex Smith was the rookie being drafted, and Rattay was basically warming the bench for Alex Smith. It worked out for a little while for Alex Smith. Not a bust. He actually became a very good, serviceable quarterback. Had it not been for Colin Kaepernick's 2012 season and just getting the 49ers and Jim Harbaugh and having trust in him, Alex Smith probably, I don't know, gets them to the Super Bowl. He probably gets them close to the NFC title game. We'll never know. But that was a Sunday night back in 2005, and the Cardinals won that game. It's an 8:20 kickoff, Monday Night Football in Mexico, and that's going to be at Aztec Stadium. Or is it, I guess, Azteca Stadio, I believe. And that will be 8:20 kickoff on ESPN. 5-4 of the Niners, 4-6 of the Cardinals. It's an 8.5-point favorite listed for San Francisco. And this is not 2005. I will take the Niners in this one I'm going to take them by 9 points. I think maybe some field goals in the end will get them to where they need to go. Will Robbie be as good as gold? He's still the kicker there, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he is. Anyway, Arizona, they're going through the same thing the LA Rams are going through. They're just looking at the downward spiral, the slide. They're not what they were last year. Remember, at one point, the Cardinals were unbeaten until Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers went in to Arizona on a Thursday night and beat them and had them gave them the defeated record, if you will, and then it was kind of spiraling out of control for them. They were not looked upon as the same. The Rams, I believe, were favored to win that first-round playoff matchup in Arizona and won it. And remember, the Super Bowl is in Arizona this year. I don't see the Cardinals getting in. Bye weeks, all three Florida teams and the Seattle Seahawks. So that means the Miami Dolphins, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, along with the Seabags, all on a bye week. Okay, here's what I've got. Packers tonight over the Titans to kick off Thursday Night Football's Week 11 slate. And then the Sunday games, I've got Atlanta over Chicago. I've got Buffalo over Cleveland, no matter where they play it, whether it's going to be at Orchard Park, New York, or in Detroit. Philadelphia over Indianapolis. The Patriots over the Jets. New Orleans over the Rams. I've got the Giants over the Lions. I've got the Ravens over the Cardinals. No, Carolina, not the Cardinals. Carolina, the Panthers, excuse me. Sorry, D-Dub. Commanders over Houston. We've got Denver over Las Vegas. Washington always beats Houston, don't they? Whether it's the World Series or now this Sunday. All right, I've got Denver over Las Vegas. Minnesota over Dallas. Cincinnati over Pittsburgh. Sunday night, this game was flexed, by the way. The Week 11 game was flexed. Kansas City at the LA Chargers. I've got Kansas City, primetime Pat. And Monday Night Football, I've got San Francisco over Arizona. Okay, that's it for J-Dawg's Fearless Football Picks for week number 11. I'll be back for week 12 probably Wednesday, if not Tuesday. Although, you know what? I'll probably do Wednesday. I'll have more time on Wednesday because Thursday, Thanksgiving, I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll have content like J-Dawg Short Shorts for that 30 seconds or less flapping my gums about what else, Thanksgiving. And you've got 3 games on Thanksgiving on, as usual. You get the Detroit game early, the Dallas game second, and you get the primetime game, which will be New England at Minnesota, which looks like that's going to be a great game. Again, we'll talk about that next week. I'll do the recap on Tuesday. And keep it tuned to J-Dawg, this channel here, J-Dawg. It's under J-Dawg83, by the way. YouTube last month decided to start doing at handles like they do on Twitter, at the real J-Dawg, Jaydawg, and Instagram, J-Dawg Arsenault. That's, of course, Jaydawgarsenault. And YouTube, I wanted to just have it stand alone as J-Dawg. I was not able to do it in time, so the handle itself is at J-Dawg83, Jaydawg83. Okay, so I'll have the recap on Tuesday. J-Dawg Short Shorts today talking about Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Tomorrow I'll have J-Dawg Short Shorts, and then Saturday, Sunday, of course, and Monday. Again, J-Dawg Short Shorts is only happening throughout 2022. I'll have a recap of Week 11 picks on Tuesday, and I'll probably go live at either 1 or 2. It's going to be a busy Wednesday because it's a getaway day here at, where I am at work, and there's going to be a lot of moving parts. So I'll have to let you know on social media, and if you like, comment, subscribe, I may just have to let people know that follow me on my subscribers when I'm going to do it. But again, on social media, I'll certainly let you know. I'm planning for Wednesday at 2, if not 3 p.m. Next Wednesday. Okay, have a great weekend. The snow's coming down whether we like it or not, and winter's coming, but Thanksgiving is coming. That's coming before winter, at least I think it is. All right, Week 11, it's coming tonight in Green Bay at Lambeau Field.